everyone. Good evening. And welcome to the London Resort Source. This is episode 12, is it, Nick?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, and today we're just going to go over really the news that was sort of surfaced about a week ago regarding the SSSI status that the London Resort project has been given by Natural England. And I think we just, we know some people are probably obviously concerned about this, and we're just sort of going to go around sort of the details that we know about it and sort of just give our own view of it, really. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously something that's been going on for quite some time now, this back and forth about the jumping spider, which I think is the main point of concern. And, you know, I think that the important thing is that the environment is important, and we can't, we can't get around that. We don't want to just be bulldozing and destroying pieces of, nice natural land and endangering species. But I think there's also an element of proportionality and how much benefit will the project bring to London and to the UK, for people, versus how well the spider lives. And I think also that it's also important to say that in the plans that we've gone through before on the channel, and if you're new, just take a look at some of our previous videos, and we've got tons on basically all the plans and going through them in great detail. We can see that there's environmental safeguards built in, which will hopefully allow not only the jumping spider to hopefully thrive, also for people to actually enjoy the environment a bit more, because at the moment it's just a regular sort of old marshland, and that's not 100% accessible or particularly nice for everyone. And the plans in the London Resort Company have is to actually regenerate the land and to provide some really nice green spaces for people. No, what do you think, Steve?
I think so, yeah. I'm kind of hoping that because P.Y. Jabot has said that they're looking to, well, it was already actually implemented into the plans. So we'll cover this in this episode basically, but I'm hoping they do come to some mutual agreement, these campaigners, Natural England and the London Resort Company, and hopefully they can come to a positive conclusion, should we say?
Yeah, definitely.
But we'll just, I think we'll just go over a few sort of things, what our views of it, what we think, and also because we are live, if you guys want to have your say and comment, then please let us know, and of course I'll bring it up here and we can go over that as well. So Little Big Vlogs, love the channel, thank you very much. Glad you're enjoying. Sorry,
thank you, Little Big Vlogs.
Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying that.
So are your vlogs little or big?
We have little vlogs and big vlogs.
Are they little 4 big vlogs, or are they big 4 little vlogs?
Little 4 big vlogs, maybe, I don't know. The size of the wasteland, the London Resort will bring it to life. That's true, actually, yeah. And to be honest, if you do go to the plans online, they do actually implement sort of the natural surroundings and wildlife. So they're hoping to sort of protect it, I suppose, in some way as well. And obviously this is a very positive project. It's one that hopefully will have good economic growth, be good for local businesses. Obviously it will generate jobs as well, and I just see it being it's a great project. It would be a good option, a good opportunity. It'd be a shame if this affected it. So interesting one here, actually. I'll just bring this up and then I'll go on to the slide. I can't see it happening at all, to be fair. I mean, what's your thoughts on that, Nick? I'd sort of disagree. I think there is still a chance of it happening.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is that we've got on the one hand this site of special scientific interest, but on the other hand, the whole project has been marked as, you know, a national infrastructure project of significance, or I can't remember the exact term. Yeah. But it's interesting because they're sort of two sides of one of the government, I guess, almost, or at least UK agencies fighting against each other. And I think we've got to think about which one is going to prevail, especially which one will prevail under this government. And I don't think that this government particularly cares about jumping spiders. I don't want to get too political, but I think that what they care a lot about is making a big, you know, song and dance about the UK and providing, you know, making us look better on the world stage after Brexit. And I think that's something that this park does by giving the UK a world-class theme park, which at the moment we don't have. So from what I know about the government, I think the government are going to try and make it happen. What I don't know about is whether these Q80s who own the London Resort Company, whether they will make it happen with the money that they've got and their investments. But only time will tell.
Only time will tell. And I think also just to say that I think the London Resort were actually aware that this was probably going to happen. I can show you why. It was actually outlined in the proposals anyway. So this is no surprise to them. And also they are aware of all these sort of rare species that are on site. So they knew what they were getting into. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
And I think with the planning application accepted for an examination, it shows that they are thinking about it, and that there's a chance that, you know, it could be accepted. It's just whether they come to some agreement. Little Big Vlog says here, we took the drone to map. It's in desperate need of this. It is sort of just a bit of marshland at the moment, isn't it? But obviously, you know, you need to take into account the wildlife as well.
This comment has come up.
That's so true. That's
so spiders ruining all our fun.
Oh, these jumping spiders, I'll tell you. But I'll tell you, it's not just that. There's all kinds of wildlife as well. It's just crazy. But yeah, I mean, it's important. It's important to keep the wildlife protected. So what I was going to do was go on to like a few slides that I've done, which is just to sort of go over what, you know, sort of the understanding of this really. Just to say, I'm driving for the first time, so I hope this does go well.
That's why we're on different sides of the screen. Usually I'm on the top bit and you're on the bottom.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's actually a good point.
Well, it looks like a PDF.
We're actually, doing the wrong thing. It's not a good start.
Feeding problems.
Hang on a minute. Let me just display settings.
In the meantime, I would like to show everyone this very attractive shell that I up on the beach, just as sort of filler while Steve works out how to show his PowerPoint. Oh. Just realised it's got an inscription on it. Didn't
yeah, I'll tell you what's a bit odd is that it's not coming up with my slide. It's just coming up with what is there, which is really annoying. So I don't know why it's showing that and not the slide, which is really. I
think you should try unsharing and then sharing again. I think you can choose which screen to share.
let's just stop screen.
Yeah, that's the one.
And then I'll go share again. Apologise, guys. Okay, I think we're... Here we go.
Yes, there we go. Very nice.
There we go. Sorry, I'm going to blame StreamYard for that. Okay, so this is basically the status came out last week. This is what the London Resort was given, was an SSSI status. And what on earth is that basically? What is this sorcery? So it's a site of special scientific interest. It's a formal conservation designation. Usually it describes an area of particular interest to science due to the rare species of fauna or flora, which is like the wildlife and the plants, etc., or even important geological or physiological features that may lie in its boundaries. Natural England are the guys who, they're the governing body basically, that have given this status to the London Resort, and they do it for, you know, everywhere in England. Why do we have these? They can be designated to give higher levels of protection than other designations. This offers more security than other designations like areas of outstanding natural beauty. For example, I can imagine, I don't know, that's probably something like the Peak District, I would imagine. But this is just an important point here. The status means owners must manage the site appropriately to conserve its special features. And this is actually something the London Resort currently, well, that they've been outlining in their proposal. So they're not just going to go, right, you know, let's just build a theme park here and all the spiders can just be killed and whatever, or, you know, whatever is there, the birds. They have taken into account the wildlife that is there. So, you know, that's one way to look at it.
We've got some bearded tits as well on the land.
Bearded tits?
Yeah.
Are they birds?
Yeah, I believe they are. I don't know why these birds are all called things like tits and boobs. I don't really know. These like ornithologists are clearly a bit sexually frustrated.
I mean, we can't just blame the spiders, can we? There's all kinds.
Yeah, you can blame the tits as well.
Blame the tits, yeah. Exactly.
And also the birds.
And the birds.
The tits at Natural England. No, remain impartial.
Yeah, I think we'll just move on from that. Yeah, because it also, I've said at the bottom here, the peninsula on the Thames hosts more than 1,700 invertebrates, including the critically endangered distinguished jumping spiders. I think those guys, they're getting a lot of stick, aren't they, compared to everyone else? I think there's other rare species, not just these jumping spiders, is it?
Spiders just have no business jumping, to be honest. They just stay on the ground.
I love this. Just have a petting zoo.
Yeah, you can pet a bearded tit.
Yeah, exactly. Pet the bearded tits. Yeah. It's not a bad idea. I like that idea. Hello, vlogger's mum. I think that's CJ's mum, isn't it?
It is. Hi, CJ's mum.
Glad we make you laugh and make your evening that more enjoyable. But yeah, so I think really to just sum up this this slide is basically it's not the be all and end all. I think obviously, like I said, it's outlined in the proposal that they were, you know, they were looking. This was going to probably happen. They were going to get an SSI status for the resort, and I think they did prepare for this. Let's just say that. So it's not. I think, you know, when you read in the media, it comes up that it's got this status. Immediately, you're like, oh no, like, you know, that's it. It's over. But I mean, you know,
they make a big deal of it as well, don't they? Because obviously it kind of gets more clicks. But the first thing that Pierre Chabot said was the project will of course continue, which I just love the sort of the confidence in that. It's just like We don't give a merde about these bearded tits.
You love that name, don't you? It is a great name, to be fair. Like for a third or whatever, but yeah, I've got something else in my head. Daniel here has said, I just honestly don't buy any of it. I think it will go ahead anyways. Also, the landed site is 100% ideal. Yeah.
This is another thing that Steve and I were talking about, right? Is you can say, oh, you know, find another place for it, but there honestly isn't another place that's as perfect as that location. Just the proximity to Ebbsfleet, the river setting, which means that you can have tons of, you know, ways to get into the park that are super easy and don't require cars, which I think is really important to make it more environmentally friendly. And obviously the proximity to London. It's just, there's not another site like it. You know, London's pretty built up. This little bit of marshland is probably one of the only parts, apart from maybe Convoy Wharf on the near Greenwich, that there isn't a riverside part that's built up already. So that's another thing they'll say in their defense, is that this is literally the best place for it. We're not just doing it because we hate jumping spiders and bearded tits. We've done our research, and this is where it's going to go for these reasons. Yeah,
and then they've also sort of said that it's going to be, they want it to be a sustainable theme park, don't they? And and sort of, you know, sort of a good, you know, carbon neutral, I suppose. And they, you know, they're
very important.
Yeah, they've outlined this in you know, their on their website. They've outlined it in the proposal and stuff. That's an interesting one. Research dominates. I mean, this is not my sort of expertise, if I'm honest. But I don't know what kind of different jumping spiders there are. They must be. I mean, they must be a rare species, I can imagine. I mean, they're the ones that are taking the hit, aren't they? They seem quite important, I think.
Yeah, I think they're quite rare for England. I think that's the thing.
Yeah.
Is there another slide?
Yeah, there is another slide. Just, I love that comment. That's great.
Petting zoo.
Yeah. So moving on to the next one. Yeah, as I go along, I'll bring up more comments, but so moving on.
Let's hide that one swiftly.
I thought I'd hide that one, yeah. Family channel, isn't it? So who are complaining, sorry. These are the, there's basically a Save Swanscombe, which I spelt wrong there, sorry, campaign, signed by more than 22,000 people, which seems like not a lot really, does it? It's sort of only really a handful. I mean, that's how many you get in Thorpe Park in a day, don't you? So Bug Life, the RSPB and Kent Wildlife Trust, they're the guys that are not happy about this theme park. They're like, you know, you can't build this theme park here. It's not right. Like, you know, blasphemous, basically. But what some of them have said is this. So James Seymour, he's the area manager for Natural England, said the designation of Swanscombe Peninsula as an SSSI is great news for one of the richest known sites in England for invertebrates, ensuring an essential refuge for many rare and threatened species that are sadly not able to thrive in the wider landscape. Fair point, I suppose. Matt Shardlow, Chief Executive of Bug Life, says we thank Natural England for doing the right thing by protecting one of the country's most important wildlife sites. However, the Swanscombe Peninsula remains under threat, and it's crucial that a proceeding isn't set out by allowing a fun fair to be considered as more important than the wildlife that inspires wonder and sustains us.
Very derisory language from Mr. Shardlow there.
Yeah, I was a little bit, I don't know about you, but I was a little bit rattled when he called it a fun fair.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just a fun fair. That's really, I mean, the thing is that we're talking about how many jobs being created for people of Kent and London and Essex.
Exactly. It's
a huge amount. It's in the thousands.
Yeah, 3,500 is the number, I think, in my head. But yeah, it's a lot of jobs. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not talking just about a few carnies moving in and, you know, setting up a Waltzer. It's a huge project that's going to benefit the area substantially and people in the area substantially. And hopefully they will have, well, we know that part of the plans that part of the green space will be retained as well. And hopefully it can be the best of both worlds.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Like you said, I mean, there's a lot of positives for this, theme park, or fun fair as he calls it. I think it's just a little bit tunnel vision, isn't it? Just the way he said that. But of course, he is the chief executive of Bug Life, so he's going to have that kind of, opinion.
PR spin.
Yeah, exactly. Sorted in the proper manner, but this part will do wonders for the UK. Yeah, you're absolutely right, CJ. Yeah, definitely. I think it will. Yeah, it's just great. I think it'll bring in international visitors. It's great for the economy. Like we just said, create local jobs. I think it's brilliant. Let's just hope that happens. Just say evening to Coastal Connection. Hope you are well, mate. And just here, Ben Jacobs, specific species of spider is only found in 2 locations in the UK, this being one of them. Wow, what are the odds? Oh dear. But there you go. So just to finish off on this slide, Richard Bloor from Kent Wallace said we must ensure that the Swanscombe Peninsula, along other SSIs, are fully protected from any further development and brought into better conditions as part of the nature recovery network. I think you guys get the idea here. Emma Marsh, RSPB, also said recognition as an SSSI should end any debate about developing a theme park here. The focus should immediately turn to how Swanscombe marshes can be effectively managed and monitored so that the species and inhabitants continue to thrive with their newfound status. I mean, again, it's tunnel vision, isn't it? I mean, the London Resort is implementing the landscape and the wildlife into this theme park. So, I just think they've got, this one-sided view, unfortunately.
Well, just to be clear, though, when you say into the theme park, they're actually building, they're developing the land outside the theme park. You're not going to have to pay to get to the spaces they redevelop. They're kind of just, they want to develop the whole area, and there's going to be some part of it that's ticketed, but a lot of it is going to be just open to the public generally, including the green spaces. So it's not like it's all being, gated. They're hoping to provide some benefit for the surrounding area as well, free of charge.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, that's what they had to say about it. So, so moving on, we want to see what London Resort's response was. Let's just see what Daniel said here.
Okay, so Steve, you have to read this in a French accent.
No chance.
You'll at least try.
Did you want to try? I'm not going to try.
No, okay, maybe PY is watching. I don't want to offend him.
This is what he said anyway. This is what the
Just imagine it's in a French accent.
Yeah, if you can. The transit centre not unusual for major brownfield reclamations. The project continues. Sustainability is fundamental to our vision. Millions earmarked to deliver a gain in biodiversity and a net carbon neutral resort. We have shown how we plan to transform a contaminated former industrial site through this exceptional once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. How true is that? An opportunity which will bring thousands of jobs, generate substantial economic growth and boost tourism in the UK's first world-class theme park resort. No one knows more about the land than us, as we've been surveying and monitoring it since 2012. We're the ones who have found and identified every species. And also to finish off here, we have shared our reports and we are working closely with Natural England to identify the right ecological solutions to deliver this grand project.
Yeah, I think he's led with this in some of his press interviews as well. The fact that they've actually been monitoring the site since 2012, obviously, because this project's been going on for bloody ages, and so that no one actually knows more about the land and everything on it than this company does, basically. And yeah, it's kind of ironic that the species that they've identified are the ones that people are complaining about, Like, where were you with your jumping spiders back in 2011? You didn't even know they were there. So all of a sudden, but yeah, I think everything that he says here is kind of spot on. It's the right response. I would be worried if he was saying, "Oh, we're just going to bulldoze the whole thing, fill over in concrete, and everyone can piss off." But that's not what the response is it? It's much.
No.
It's very proportionate.
It's almost like he's on side with Natural England, and to make sure that this wildlife is protected, and he's got an open opinion, shall we say? Open mind.
One thing that we're going to do is maybe over even the Easter weekend, when the stay-at-home order's lifted, is actually go over to the site and have a look, because we don't know what it looks like in real life. We've seen Google Earth, we've seen some pictures, but it'd be really interesting to go over. We're going to fly a drone over it so everyone can see what it's like, and report back, and maybe we'll find a couple of bearded tits as well to interview. See what they have to say about it.
Well, we probably will. Yeah, we probably will.
And what I've heard from people who live around there is that it is very much a sort of industrial wasteland, and I'm not sure how nice that is for people to inhabit. I mean, I'm sure that jumping spiders don't really care whether it's landscaped green like parkland with benches, but people certainly do care about that, and I think more people will use it once it's made a bit nicer.
Yeah, there might actually be more people using it. I mean, I don't know how many people. I mean, things we haven't been to the site, have we? But how many people walk their dogs or whatever, or go onto this bit of land? I mean, for anyone who's been there, let us know. I mean, looking at photos of it, I mean, I'm going to be honest, it looks a bit dull. In terms of what it is. I mean, but I mean, obviously the wildlife is important there. So, we'll just have to see. But just an important thing at the bottom here is P.Y. Jabot will be speaking at Blue Loop's new conference on sustainability and visitor attractions, Green Loop, which takes place on April 20th and 21st. So I think that'll be an interesting one to hear what he has to say.
I've got my ticket.
You got your ticket? I need to get mine. I need to book it. So. But I mean, that's one just to give his sort of views on it, I suppose. But just to sort of finish off, I mean, sorry, I'm just bringing Daniel's one up again here, but he has say, incorporated nature inside the whole resort, in the plans. Yeah, so you're absolutely right there. And then Little Big Vlogs has said Hackney Marshes apparently will not be touched. I don't know if that's the area that is got the most rare species. I mean, I don't know if you know about that or.
I don't know. Testing my marshland knowledge to the limit.
I like your honesty. Just wanted to bring up sort of the positives, really, which is P.Y. Jabot's response, as we've just outlined here. We think it's quite positive. And as you said previously, Nick, that the London Resort has been given NSIP, which is nationally significant infrastructure projects. So this is for major infrastructure developments in England and Wales that bypass normal planning requirements. So it's for things like power plants, airports, etc., roads. I think, and that's also been issued by the Planning Inspectorate. So I think that's really positive.
It's also interesting because usually the local authority would be the person deciding whether the planning permission is granted, but because it has this NSIP, and also it's, I think, the first non-motorway/train thing that's been given this NSIP status, which shows you how much it's wanted by the government. I've lost my train of thought, but basically it means that the government gets to decide whether the site is granted planning rather than the local government. So the national government gets to decide that. That's just something to bear in mind as well, that if the local Dartford Council is annoyed about the project. There's actually, unfortunately, apart from complaining to the government, there's nothing they can do in terms of deciding whether it goes ahead or not.
Yeah, exactly. Just bringing up another comment here. Why they're not done anything about it sooner? It's probably because, like we said before, they probably didn't know about it, did they? Didn't know there were these, rare species in the area. So it's kind of, it was the London Resort themselves that actually found it. So, which is,
I think the overarching message here is to everyone that's been looking forward to this theme park being built is don't panic. I think that, our general feeling is that enough is being done to, counter the arguments of the Natural England and conservationists. Not just counter them as in beat them down, but actually take on board what they're saying and build that into the plans with these green spaces and the carbon neutrality of the site. Enough of that is being done to hopefully mean that the government will still grant planning permission. But of course, we've got a very long time to wait until we know if it's going to happen.
Until we actually find out. I think a lot of people are wondering whether it will delay the project. I mean, I don't think it will. I think it's part of the process. I think just sort of a couple of things I want to touch upon, and is if you actually go to the Planning Inspectorate Gov website, you will find the environmental statement. So, oh, look at that. It worked perfectly that time. So that's actually here on page 1, the environmental statement appendix. And if you do go to page 7 on this, they do actually say here, LRCH Limited have received correspondence from Natural England informing them of an area of land within the DCO boundary that is being considered for notification as an SSSI. Given the early stages of the process, pre-notification is not considered any further as part of this assessment. So they'll be working closely with Natural England as further details of the SSI and notification process emerge. Now, this is part of the application that was submitted, and it was passed for examination. So it shows that has been taken into consideration as well. It's not just, this was submitted and then suddenly this status came out of nowhere. It was just, I suppose the decision was not made when the applications were submitted. So, I mean, and another thing is that they do have landscape plans within, like, this is an example. I think this is on page 3. It's under the landscape plans, I think, and that's the area that they are looking to conserve.
Looks nice.
So this is north of the project, isn't it? And then you've got the Gate 1 boundary here, which you can see on my cursor. So it does look nice, Nick. I completely agree. It's probably going to look a lot nicer.
If I were a bearded tit, I'd love to live there.
Did you know that existed before this? Or?
No.
So yeah, that's all I wanted to sort of touch upon, is that this is not like out of the blue. They were aware that this was probably going to happen, and the media obviously don't outline that, do they? I mean, that's what the media do. They want to, I don't know, scaremonger people or something. I don't know.
I just want to get clicks.
Exactly, they want to get clicks. Yeah. So yeah, I think that sort of rounds it off, doesn't it? Let's just take up some more comments here. All right, so Little Big Vlogs, when you were on site, I assume you came across 5 people. I suppose those people that were walking, I assume, around the.
I suppose it is pandemic time, so maybe not a reflection of how many people would usually be there.
Yeah.
But still,
yeah, that's true.
Quite a few people.
Yeah, and this is an off-topic one from CJ. Are you guys going any theme parks the first week they're open? Me and Nick are actually thinking about Alton Towers. We haven't
Talking about Alton Towers, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure about those. Would we have to drive up there and back in a day? Because I don't think we'd be able to stay anywhere.
Are we allowed in the same car together?
That's a good point.
Do I have to Uber it all the way to Alton Towers?
Maybe we should try close to the home park first.
Yeah, we might just have to do Thorpe Park, but we hope to. Yeah, we hope to. I mean, don't know. I need a coaster fix. I don't know about you, Nick.
Definitely, yeah. I would even go to Thorpe Park at this point.
I think I would actually. Yeah.
I would go Chessington, honestly.
Croc drop, mate. You got croc drop.
Yeah, this croc drop looks quite interesting. It's a drop tower I might actually go on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It could be your first.
It's not my first, but
oh, yeah, definitely.
I just hate the drop towers usually.
I can't say for people out there, Detonator is the most extreme drop tower I've been on.
Yeah, starting for life.
Yeah, I reckon if you did a normal, like, Intamin gyro drop tower, I think you'll be fine.
One day.
And just one more here. Look forward to maybe riding a bike through there with friends. Maybe one day we'll see in parks, rides, and roller coasters next door.
Exactly, idyllic.
I know, it sounds lush, doesn't it? It's literally the best of both worlds. So, but yeah, we'll just have to see how this sort of news develops. I suppose that's all we can do, isn't it? So
yeah, and we'll obviously be keeping you updated. We'll be doing these little updates, little talk show style shows live where we take your questions. We'll also be carrying on our usual program of recorded shows as well. So I think the next one that we're going to be working on is looking at water parks and seeing what sort of water park rides we'd like. And take a look at our last ride speculation video as well on the channel, which was about the new ride technology that we'd like to see in the park. We thought that was a particularly good one, actually.
Yeah, that was good, actually. We quite enjoyed that. And that's a very good point, Aberico. Apparently it's Garden City next to the resort. Did you know about
that? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Northfleet Garden City. Yeah, I think I did know about it, but I think the point is that they get disturbed and they don't recover. I don't think you can just go around picking up all the bearded tits and putting them in another place. It's not like Pokemon.
Right, I'll just do one more and then we'll wrap it up, shall we? Are there alternative sites for the resort that are being made?
CJ's dad.
Oh, it's CJ's dad. Yes. Hi, CJ. Hope you're well.
There aren't alternative resort sites, no, Chris. Like this is the best one. They did extensive research into which sites to look at when they were first looking back in 2012, and there's no other place that has the same combination of positive factors that this site does. So I think that it's more of a question of this is definitely where it's going to be built, rather than look at other places to put as an alternative, just because there isn't any place that does as good a job.
Yeah, it's all or nothing, really, isn't it? I suppose. But yeah, we just got to hope that this won't affect it. But I think, like Nick has said, I mean, it's important to protect the wildlife. We obviously have concerns for that as well. We don't want them to just rip apart all this wildlife and landscaping.
Yeah,
and obviously London Resort have taken this into consideration. So yeah, we'll just have to see how things develop. But I think for now we'll wrap it up there. CJ's family is all here. But yeah, I think we're looking to do maybe a water park video, I suppose, in the near future, and also another live stream, because I think we quite enjoyed that last time, didn't we? We thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
And of course, just to say, if people want to get involved in that, don't hesitate to contact us. You can comment or just comment in the videos or something if you did want to take part and have your say on the London Resort. So
yeah, thanks everyone who's watched today, and for everyone that subscribed. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do. We're on, I think, 363 subscribers, which we're really happy with. good to see it growing week by week. And also, please do give us a like as well on the video, just so that we satisfy that YouTube algorithm.
Very nice word there. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you soon.
Bye, everyone. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.